As a bit of a follow-up to my my first video there, a lot of people said to me, well Mick, what happens when the tide comes in? So I've come down here there tonight. There's quite a fast inflowing tide here, and I've just chucked a bit of stick out into the river. We'll see if we can see it out there. I can't particularly see it, but we can see the water's flowing quite fast. There's a little stick out there now, I can spot it, and it's going down the river quite quick. You can see that by the way I'm panning around and following it. That will go down towards the bridge, and with a bit of luck it might even get caught up in the eddy current down there. But as it is at the moment, I'll just come down here and I'll come down to my feet, and once again we can look down into the water and we'll see little bits of seaweed and stuff sitting down there, little bits of foam, a couple of little bits of this and that, or whatever. They're completely stopped, and this is by alongside the ramp where everybody enters the water. The rock wall that's been built here has been built out in a bit of an angle, and it works the same as it does on the outgoing tide with the other side. The rock wall itself directs the water out into the midstream, or out in towards the channel. So the actual flow of water has no desire at all to be going in and hitting the beach. In fact, just like the outgoing tide, it goes straight past. So the whole thing works in reverse. So this water goes down towards the bridge, flowing out in the channel, and it hits the old bridge base, which is under the water, and it causes a bit of a backlog, and the water itself actually starts to flow back out against the tide, just the same as it did with my outflowing video. The water's flowing upstream against the tide. Now we have the water flowing downstream against the tide, because it just eddies around here in front of the beach and the water just flows gently around. I'll just go down here a little bit and look down at my feet, towards my feet, and you can see little bits of seaweed and stuff. It's just all sort of sitting there. But if you look just on the edge of the rocks there, I'll stop moving, just look out the edge of the rocks, see all little bits of foam and little bits of seaweed and stuff. It's all rushing past quite fast with this incoming tide. It's a good tide tonight. It's 2.03, and that's not a bad tide. It's a good spring tide. It's come in and it's enacting upon this beach. I just come back down again towards my feet. We look in towards the rock wall, and we can see all the little bits of foam just sitting in the water. They're not doing anything, and they're just sitting there still, and yet all this water is rushing past. So once again, with this little video, I've demonstrated that there's no great forces enacting upon the rock wall here. The tide just simply just rises and falls. So the incoming tide does the same as the outgoing tide, and all this water just goes past. What I'll do now is I'll just pause this video and I'll walk down towards the bridge and to where I took the other video, and we'll just have a look at how the water's reacting back down there a little bit. So just hang on a sec and I'll go down there. So here we go. I've moved down along the rock wall a little bit and look down in the water. You can see all what I call the little foamy bobs, and they're all just gently, very, very gently here, flowing just very, very slowly against the tide. They're flowing back downstream, back to where I was standing before by the launch ramp. I'll just come and pan around very, very slowly, and you can just see up there towards the top of the screen a couple of larger bits of seaweed sitting in the water. If I lift the camera up a tiny little bit, you can just go out and you can see the current. You can see the turbulated water from the current there, where the water is sort of bubbling and brewing as the tide rushes past. And yet in here at my feet, once again, we have got almost dead stopped water. It just rises and falls up this beach. So I'll pan right around towards the road bridge a little bit more, and we'll go back to my old argument. Why can't we put a beach back in here? And everybody says it's a road. The engineers say a lot of road. Well, I dispute that immensely. I think it's pretty well here in black and white, as we would say in the old days. So if this rock wall was to be removed in its entirety and taken back up there to maybe just a little bit further back than my car, and we just put a simple wall running across there over towards the bridge passes through that car there, over the bridge. We just buried a retaining wall or whatever up in there, out of the tidal zone, okay? Whatever we put it up out of the tidal zone. So these tides hardly ever go up there and then enact upon any structure we build further back. We build it back far enough to keep it away from the tides. So if we were to then backfill on that area between there and down to here with sand, in all probabilities, and from looking at these couple of little videos, the sand is not going to wash away. We might have to do a little bit of maintenance, replenish a bit after every winter, but the doom and gloom that's been predicted by all these specialist water engineers that we've heard about with their desktop studies, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's fairly conclusive with my little tiny videos. I might just stop it here. I know it's getting a little bit long, but I'll go right back down towards the bridge. I'm about halfway at the moment. I'll just go down there and I'll just put on there what the water's doing down there. Just hang on a sec. So here I am, I've come right back down towards the bridge, nearly to where I was taking the video for the previous short video. We just look down here to the water. We go down in there, I just pan around a little bit till I get down towards my feet, and we look down closely. I'll stop panning now. See the little bits of white seaweed floating on the surface? Other little bits of seaweed. They're heading downstream. They're going against the actual current. So it's just a gentle eddy current formed in here, and it just eddies around this entire length of this rock wall, and which I said before, it's been here since 1985, and all these magical currents that are enacting upon this wall here with these tides every day, all the floods, all the storm and tempest that this rock wall has had to put up with, according to the engineers, the rock wall is still sitting here. So I think we have a very good chance here of putting back a successful beach and making this a very, very good aquatic area once again for the people, the way it used to be. I think I've pretty well said enough, and I'll just let the videos speak for themselves. And we just go down. We'll just have a nice little look down along the river here to what used to be such a magnificent aquatics playground, and it's just devoid. It's just there's not too much. A couple of people have been in canoes, but I stand by my argument. There's in all probability we can put back a very good beach down here. We can turn this place into a fantastic area. And I think it should be investigated a whole lot more instead of just turning it all underneath lawns. Thanks for your time there, and I hope somebody takes some notice of me. Cheers.